the parade to attention. Parade, attention! General George Patton.
Man, this stuff some sources say about America wanting out of this war, not wanting to fight. Well, that's a crock of bullshit. Americans love to fight, traditionally. Americans love the clash and sting of battle. You men are here for 3 reasons. Firstly, you are here to defend your homes and your loved ones. Secondly, you are here for your own self-respect, because you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And thirdly, you are here because you are real men, and real men love to fight. When all of you here were kids, you all admired the champion marble player, the fastest runner, the toughest boxer, the big league ball player, and the all-American football player. Americans love a winner. Americans will not tolerate a loser. Americans despise a coward. Americans play to win all the time. I don't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. And that is why America never has lost, nor never will lose a war, for the very idea of losing is hateful to an American. You are not all going to die. Only 2% of you here today would die in a major battle. Death must not be feared. Death comes to all men. Yes, you'll be scared in your first battle. Every man is. If he says he isn't, he's a liar. But the real hero is the man who fights even though he's scared. Now, some get over their fright in a minute. For some it takes an hour. For some it takes several days. But the real man never lets that fright get in the way of his honor, his sense of duty to his country, his innate manhood. Battle is the most magnificent competition any human being can enter into. It brings out all that is best and removes all that is base. Americans pride themselves on being he-men, and they are he-men. Remember, the enemy is just as scared as you are, probably more so. Now, all through your Army careers, you bitched about what you call that chicken shit drilling. Well, that, like everything else in the Army, was there for a purpose. And that purpose is alertness. Alertness must be bred into every soldier. I don't give a heck for a man who's not always on his toes. You men are veterans. You wouldn't be here otherwise. You are ready for what is to come. Each man must be alert at all times if he wants to stay alive. If you are not alert, then sometime some German son of an asshole bitch is gonna sneak up behind you and beat you to death with a sock full of shit. There are 400 neatly marked graves somewhere in Sicily, all because one man fell asleep on the job. But they are German graves, because we caught that bastard asleep before they did. The Army is a team. It eats, sleeps, lives, fights as a team. We have the finest food, the finest equipment, the best spirit, the best men in the world. Why, by God, I actually pity those poor sons of bitches we're going up against. By God, I do. My men don't surrender. I don't want to hear of anybody being taken unless he's been hit. And even if you have been hit, you can still fight back. And that's not bullshit either. The kind of man I want in my command is like that lieutenant in Libya, who, with a Luger against his chest, jerked off his helmet, swept aside the gun with the other hand, and beat the living hell out of that crowd with his helmet. Then he jumped on the gun, went outside, killed another German before they knew what the hell was coming off. And he did all this with a bullet through his lung. Now there was a real man, there was a real soldier. But not all heroes are storybook combat fighters. Every man has a vital role to play in this army. Don't ever give in. Don't ever think your job is unimportant. Every man has a job to do, and he must do it. Every man is a link in that great chain. What if a truck driver decided he didn't like the whine of those engines overhead, turned yeller and dived headlong into a ditch? Now, that cowardly bastard could lie there all day and say to himself, well, no one's gonna miss me, I'm just one man in 1,000. But what if every man thought like that? Where the hell would we be then? What would our homes, our loved ones, our country, even the world be like? No, goddammit, Americans don't think like that. Every man has a job to do. Every unit, every department is important in the vast scheme of this war. The ordnance man is needed to supply us guns and the machinery of war to keep us rolling. The quartermaster is needed to give us food and clothes, because where we're going there isn't a hell of a lot to steal. Every last man on the KP is needed, even the one that heats the water to stop us getting the GI shits. And each man must not only look after himself, but also his buddy fighting next to him. We don't want yellow cowards in this army. They must be killed off like rats. Otherwise, when the war is over, they will go home and they will breed more cowards. The brave men must breed more brave men. Kill off the goddamn cowards, and we will be a nation of brave men. Do you know, one of the bravest men I ever saw was atop a telegraph pole in Tunisia in the middle of a fierce firefight. I stopped and asked him what the hell he thought he was doing. He said, "Fixing the wire, sir." I said, "Isn't that a little unhealthy about now?" He answered, "Yes, sir, but the goddamn wire needs fixing." I said, "Don't those planes strafing the road bother you?" And he answered, "No, sir, but you sure as hell do." Now there was a real man. There was a real soldier, utterly devoted to his duty, no matter how seemingly insignificant that duty might appear at the time, no matter how great the odds. And what about those truck drivers on the road to Tunisia? Those men were magnificent. All day and night rolling over those son of a bitchin' roads, never stopping, never faltering from their course, with shells bursting all around them all the time. We got through on good old America guts. They pulled together as a team. Without teamwork, without them, the fight would have been lost. Each link of the chain pulled together, and the chain became unbreakable. Now remember, none of you men know I'm here. Nobody knows where I am. I'm not supposed to be commanding this army. I'm not even supposed to be here in England. Let the first bastards find out be the goddamn Germans. Someday I want to see them raise up on their piss-soaked hind legs and howl, "Jesus Christ, it's the goddamn Third Army again and that son of a bitch Patton." We want to get over there. Clean up that mess. The sooner we can clean up that mess, the sooner we can take a little jaunt over to the purple pissing Japs and clean out their nest too, before the goddamn Marines take all the credit. Yes, we want to go home. Yes, we want this war over with. Well, the quickest way to get it over with is to go and get the bastards who started it. The sooner they are whipped, the sooner we can go home. And the quickest way home is through Berlin and Tokyo. And when we get to Berlin, I am personally gonna shoot that paper-hanging son of a bitch Hitler myself, just like I'd shoot a snake. When a man is lying in a shell hole, if he stays there all day, a German will get to him eventually. My men don't dig foxholes. I don't want them to. Foxholes only slow up an offensive. Just keep moving. Don't give the enemy time to dig one either. We will win this war, but we'll win it by fighting. And by showing the Germans that we got more guts than they have or will ever have. We're not just gonna shoot these sons of bitches. We're gonna rip out their living goddamn guts and grease the treads of our tanks with them. We are gonna murder these Hun assholes by the bushel. War is a killing, bloody business. Spill their blood or they will spill yours. Rip them up the belly, shoot them in the guts. When you're standing there and the shells bursting all around you and you wipe the dirt from your face and you realize that isn't dirt. That's the blood and guts of your best friend who was just stood next to you. You'll know what to do. I don't want to get any messages saying I am holding my position. We're not holding on to a goddamn thing. We are advancing constantly. I'm not interested in holding on to anything except the enemy's balls. And we are gonna twist his balls and kick the living shit out of him all the time. Our basic plan of operation is to advance and keep on advancing, whether we have to go over, under, or through the enemy. We are gonna go through him like crap through a goose, like shit through a tin horn. Now, from time to time, there will be complaints that we are pushing our people too hard. Well, I don't give a good goddamn for those complaints. I believe in the old sound rule. An ounce of sweat will save a gallon of blood. The harder we push, the more Germans we will kill. The more Germans we kill, the fewer of our men will be killed. Pushing means fewer casualties. I want you to remember that. Now, there is one great thing you will be able to say when this war is over and you're safely home. 20 years from now, when you're sat by the fireside with your grandson on your knee, and he asks you what you did in the Great World War II, you won't have to cough, shift him to the other knee and say, well, your granddaddy shoveled shit in Louisiana. No. You'll be able to look him square in the eye and say, son, your granddaddy rode with the Great Third Army and a son of an asshole bitch named George Patton. Good luck, man.